Hello friends and welcome to episode 1 of what is a brand new potential series for the channel here. This is Our Darker Purpose by Avidly Wild Games, a game that I've been following for a very long time. As you probably know, I actually did a video of this one back on Indie Impressions when it was still in its Kickstarter phase, and they were very lucky. They managed to pull it all together. Everything came together in a really nice way. They managed to get their Kickstarter on, going forward. They had their Greenlight campaign successfully put through, so in many ways, a huge success story for this roguelike action RPG, and one that I think is very cool. Very, reminiscent of something like Binding of Isaac, if you're familiar with that style of gameplay, but it also has a lot to differentiate itself as well. And I've been looking for something new to play on the channel, and I figured, well, this is probably a pretty good one, and it's one that the only real reservations I was having is I wasn't sure quite how long this game was going to be, but I've been watching some of the other fellow Twitch streamers and Let's Players, people like Cobalt Streak, who've been playing this, and it looks like it has quite a bit to it in terms of depth and replay value, so that seems like kind of the final nail in the coffin here and made me really want to play it even more on the channel. I was going to play it on my own regardless, but I figured we might as well go through this together and have a good time exploring and discovering and all that good stuff. So, if you're not familiar, basically what we're going to be doing is starting here reasonably from scratch. I mean, I have a couple of things unlocked from the one time I played this on the NLSS. We'll go to our extras menu real quickly just to show you just a handful of items that I have unlocked. Nothing particularly crazy or, earth-shattering. I've got no victories, 3 deaths, 1 restart, and that's about all. Cleared 6 floors, and I've only got 12 little jewels down at the bottom. I'm not even familiar with all the correct terminology at this point for what all the things are called in it and what I'm going to be looking out for as we go forward. It's also got a pretty substantial story, which is the other thing that made me pretty excited about it, on top of the art style and great music. So let's just jump right into a run. I don't really know what to expect from the long-term gameplay of this, but I'm excited to see what awaits us. Alright, so here we go. We're going to use arrows to move, enter to select. Well, not a whole lot to select yet. So, move with WASD, shoot with arrow keys, use health pot with Q, space to roll, practice your roll, it speeds you up, escape for options, C for character sheet. Okay, good to keep in mind. So, let's check out some rooms here. We've got a... Oh, I thought that was actually a totally empty room. Apparently we've got some trash cans down here, which are going to give us a little bit of guff. Nothing we can't handle. So the base character does not deal a whole ton of damage as it appears. Our original attack seems to do something like 12, and it looks like we can only hit these trash can guys when their lids maybe are open. Oh, what was that? Did I get a crit or something? Or maybe they actually just have some defense on, I think is probably more likely the case. Because, yeah, once you knock the lid off of them, then I think they start, yeah, they take a ton of damage then. So I guess there is, like, a defense and armor situation going on. And then you can see at the bottom we've got our stats set up here. 3 out of 3 juice boxes, those are our health potions, essentially. We've got some chalk with R. I'm not sure what exactly that's going to do for us yet. Space for some sort of a special ability on E. And then, of course, our roll is our special, our character special, which I'm going to use basically all the time to get around, because not only does it make me faster, but is there maybe possibly a chance to dodge as well? I'm not 100% sure on that, and I think that's a boss room over there on the left, so I'm going to wait on that one. Oh, I couldn't go through the door for some reason. Also, I can hit tab to turn the map on and off, which might be useful to know. Alright, so we've got a grouping here of different various characters, as well as some pretty angry spike balls that seem to be rolling around. I'm not sure what exactly the spike balls are supposed to represent in the world of wizardry that is this home for lost children. Essentially, the story has to do with, like, that there were the teachers at this place eventually just decided to leave, and all the children kind of went feral and started using their magic powers in some sort of ways that were out of control, which is kind of a cool premise, and I sort of like how this all comes together. It's also kind of nice that there's a bit of an alternative. Although this is a bit of a macabre game, it's maybe not quite as M-rated as something like Binding of Isaac, so it might be a little bit more accessible for people who might have found some of the more gross stuff in Isaac to be a little bit unpalatable. Not that it bothered me, really, but I like that there's a little bit of something for everyone out there. That's surprisingly hard to dodge. I just need to, I guess, stay a little bit further away so I can back up. And I'm guessing this is like a legendary creature. Yeah, it is. So it drops something, and I actually have to use pots already, which is a little embarrassing because we're only right at the beginning now. But we did actually get to a level up, which is another pretty unique feature to this game. Every so often we'll be presented with a choice between two different things, which will progress our character forward. Of course, this does have permadeath, so once we reach 0 in our health, it's just over for that run. But there are also some passive items that we can equip, or abilities that we can equip between runs that'll give us a bit of a better shot toward making it further each time. So our choice here is between +5 attack speed, plus 50% likelihood of additional champion spawn per floor, so I guess that's more drops in the end of things. And then on the other side, +5 damage, and enemies are twice as likely to drop chalk juice boxes and tokens. That seems like the better option between the two. If I was more confident, maybe I would consider the other one. Alright, so what is this? Unused converts next 3 attacks to flurries of paper. Interesting. Alright, so I guess we'll just have to keep that in mind. Okay, this is a vending machine that we can use with our coins. And I've got 5 coins, which is going to allow me to buy either juice box, which is plus 20 health, Vexing Vial. Well, actually, it's only those 2, because I don't have enough for the others, but sadly, the affected... Oh, it went away. Juice burn through the table floor. Okay, so I guess this is some sort of like an AoE damaging attack or something, maybe that I can drop on the floor, like a holy water or something. What is this? Reluctantly return our album. That was 50% bonus XP. That's interesting, actually. If we were to get that early in the game, I imagine that would be quite useful. This trait commemorates enemy shatter when destroyed. Okay, I'm not sure what that does exactly. I'm just going to buy a juice box, because I'm sure I'm going to need it. And then we're going to hit escape and keep on keeping on. Alright, so what's going on the right over here? To survive for 14 seconds, dodging all of these crazy spike balls. I think we're capable of doing this, but I found these kind of an interesting scenario, because it's like, survive. Okay, well, what's my other option? If I don't survive and get this item, I died, so then my run is over, so, like, I don't know, seems weird to me. Plus 10% resist, so I guess that's just a big boost to defense, which is probably pretty good, considering I'm probably going to take a bunch of damage. I'm glad the spike balls take a second before they start rolling when I first enter the screen, because otherwise I would have gotten probably run over by them immediately, although, you know, it still can happen anyway. And then we've got our boss room here, so we're going to be fighting the mechanical dragon. And I'm going to drink a juice box right away, just so I don't have to worry as much. I'm going to use my paper flurry as well. Oh, I also used my chalk, which was probably not ideal. And it looks like all of my shots have missed, unfortunately. But I'll just use my E key again as soon as that's up, and as soon as I can get some clear shots in on. The dragon seems to like to stay at a bit of a distance from me. Oh, that's interesting. It's like a shotgun attack, kind of. And then with the fire that keeps roaming around, it's like I've got this interesting, like, conundrum between, do I want to get real close and take a bunch of damage because my shots don't go very far, or do I want to keep my distance and potentially save some of my health and wait for just the right moment, but then risk taking so long that I'm going to take a bunch more damage in the fire? It's a little bit of a balancing act, I suppose. But I doubt that this dragon's going to take me down, especially with my shotgun paper. Alright, so we can leave this floor by picking this crystal up, and this is, I believe, our currency to buy passives between runs. I don't think there was anything else worth seeing on this floor, so I'm just going to go ahead and complete it. We went in almost 5 minutes, enemies defeated 10, damage taken 73, that's surprisingly a lot. And we got a D, so we did not do very well at all on our first run for the series. So now we have an option. We can choose between the enigmatic classrooms or the doleful kitchens. And the rewards are pretty different here. We've got a choice between 2 or 4 gems, or whatever we're calling these. I feel like, why not just risk it? Why don't we go for the harder one? Well, I'm assuming that bigger reward equals harder. Oh, it's also underlit, apparently, so this is determining the, sort of like the biome, and also another condition, so this might be like in a Spelunky run where we have to carry a torch. Maybe there's just less visibility. I say we give it a shot. I don't know, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe I lose, and then get to maybe spend some money on bettering my character overall. So I'm okay with that. This slime is kind of a pain in the butt, because he doesn't seem to want to stay on the floor long enough for me to hit him. Alright, so it looks like these guys are not quite as dangerous anymore. Maybe I'm doing more damage, or maybe I'm just a little bit more aware of the patterns. That is part of the fun with a game like this. Over the long haul, you start to just memorize what every enemy does, and hopefully you get a little bit more effective at dodging. If Isaac runs have been an indication of that sort of a behavior, I think that is sort of how these work. Kind of want to get rid of this other can at the bottom here because I'm taking a ton of damage. Okay, resisted some damage. That's probably good. And I'm hoping this guy maybe will drop something cool. Otherwise, I might not have even wanted to bother with this. Alright, actually dropped some Harry Potter glasses, it looks like. Plus 10% range. That's actually pretty substantial and significant for my character. And there's a boss room already, so we're going to skip that and go back up. Now, the runs in this tend to be rather long. From my experience, I've seen some runs that lasted, like, well over an hour. So I think that's a little bit of a differentiating factor here as well. And I'm not sure how that's going to really work with the series just yet, or what the long-term trajectory for the series even is. This is more me just, like, testing the water, seeing if this is something you guys want to watch, seeing if this is something that's fun to commentate over and fun to play over the long period of time that I assume that's probably going to occur. I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy this quite a bit, but it is also going to be a factor whether or not this is something that you're interested in too. So please don't be shy in the comments when this is over. Feel free to let me know your opinions. There could be a little bit of repetition towards the beginning of some of the runs, I suppose, but then again, as with an Isaac run or a Spelunky run, those are sort of the foundational time periods that set us up for, you know, better success or more sad losses, I suppose, you know, throws in that case. It doesn't seem like anything particularly engaging or cool happened in this room when I killed everybody, so I guess we'll move on. I wonder if there's a way out of a room once you've opened it, or walked into it before you kill the enemies, because, like, you know, in Isaac, you could bomb your way back out. I don't know if there's some sort of an equivalent action in this, and I should probably try and keep the Binding of Isaac comparisons to a minimum, but, you know, it does bear mentioning at times more than other times. Granted, I think they're both great games, and I think they both have really big, substantial features that differentiate them from each other, and I suppose in the first couple of episodes, that'll probably come up more than it maybe ought to. But, you know, might as well get that stuff out of the way for the long haul, if there is to be a long haul anyway. So there is a lot of fire chasing me, and I'm not particularly worried about the darkness of this level. It seems like the enemies seem to emit their own light most of the time, or at least my shots seem to when I hit them, which is probably good enough. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of situations, aside from maybe if there were bouncing balls flying around the room, where the darkness would actually pose a massive threat to me. Okay, I guess we finished that room. I kind of wish the fire just went out permanently once you finish the room, because, like, you know, why do we still have to contend with dangers once we've cleared things out? So I only have 4 coins this time. I could get a potato battery if I had 15. I think that's probably good. What does that do? Creates a projectile slowing field. Yeah, that's one of the ones that I'd had already. And a merit bracelet. 6 kills in a row without missing grants plus 20% crit. That's another thing. We're going to have to learn what all the items are, and I think there's probably quite a few of them. And I know... Oh, forgot to use my E ability all this time. That is an adorable enemy. It's supposed to look pretty threatening, but it's just like a cute cat. Alright, seems like we found some sort of a rose here. Gain thorns affect damaged enemies on contact. That seems good. It's like poison touch, I suppose. I have gotten most of these items already, so it kind of makes me wonder, maybe as we reach certain points in our gameplay, maybe we unlock more items for further consumption later on. It's probably very likely that that is the case. Keep the progression gate going, so that way there is a little bit of a linear progression to the amount of times that you could play the game and still see new content. Otherwise, you might end up with a situation where in your first run you get the best item, beat the game then, and then, like, don't really feel a lot of compulsion to want to go back for it. You have to have that stickiness quality, right, where, you know, if you don't do well on the first run, you want to try again, and eventually make some meaningful progress. So I think that helps quite a bit to put some progress gating on the items themselves. Again, not sure if that is actually the case, and probably the people watching, you're going to all know a lot more about it than I do at the moment. I'm certainly not an expert yet. But this is the stuff that comes in time. Maybe 600 episodes later, I don't know if there's nearly enough content for that, but if there is, it could be pretty interesting to know all of the stuff that I didn't know at the beginning of the series. And then I would have to do a Our Darker Purpose 101 episode or something, teaching all of the things I've learned to some other friend of mine. So let's keep going and fight another boss. Ooh, this is a cool looking one. It looks like there's some broken glass or caltrops on the floor or something. I'm gonna eat both of these. Yeah, alright, that did not go very well, and all of a sudden, I'm starting to eat my words about how dark it is. Let's use our shotgun paper blasts on this candelabra. who is kind of, like, destroying us right now. It's, like, really dark over here, and I can't see anything. Okay, so there's, like, this randomized spotlight that seems to be jumping around the screen, which is cool, except, like, I can't see half the screen and there's stuff on the floor that's hurting me, and also projectiles I have to dodge, so there's basically no chance that I'm getting out of this alive, which is unfortunate, but, you know, it is kind of part of how this all works. There's definitely some, like, minor bullet hell elements in this game from what I've noticed. You've perished in the halls of Edgewood. Press enter to return to start. Fair enough. Damage taken, 200 damage dealt. 17,804, grade failing. Alright, so that's the ratio of discontent, apparently. So what I would think we would do at this point, we would check our number of crystals in the bottom corner here, and then see if there's anything we could buy on our class schedule. We could buy Whispers, gain an extra 20% crit chance when near an enemy. That seems pretty good. For 15 tuition gems, and we get to spend 1 period on that. Alright, so done. Equipped. Now I have a 20% crit chance bonus, which seems pretty cool to me. There's also this counselor guy here. Lifeless Scarecrow sits expectantly at the counselor's desk. Its impressive gaze offers little in terms of actual guidance. So if I donate 25 credits, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I think that's going to eventually lead to something happening that's in my favor. Not just yet, evidently, though, so we'll head back out. Those are the items, again, that I've found so far. Nothing particularly amazing. Let's do another run. And maybe we'll have a little bit better luck on this one. It's going to be a little bit risky if I end up having a bad run at the beginning that still takes like 15-20 minutes, and then I start another one, and then that one lasts like an hour and a half or something. That could be very, very long episodes. I'm not sure if I want to quite Michael A.L. Fox this series, speaking of the way he does his Spelunky series, but certainly a possibility, I suppose. So I could go straight to the boss room. I think I'm probably going to not do that. Sounds like a bad idea. We've got a chalkboard here that seems to shoot fireballs at us. That's a little bit mysterious. One of the things I really like about this game, as it pertains to the art style, is the sense of ambience in how the characters are drawn, how they feel. The general vibe of the game has this, like, this Tim Burton-esque, mysterious, enigmatic quality to it. I find that really engaging. I think it's cool. And it's got this, like, sort of pseudo-gothic feeling to it, which I also really enjoy. So this is one of those things where, well, there's a juice box. I could pick it up if I wanted to spend 1 and get 4 health back, but that seems like a really poor decision in this case. So I'm just going to leave it there. I can see it on my map, and I'll come back to it when I inevitably need a little bit more health before or after the boss. Oh, well, crap. Well, I hit Q instead of F by accident there, so there goes my juice box. And there's Merit Slippers. What do those do? 1 time, 18 kills in a row without using juice awards, 20% dodge. Interesting. Level up instantly on the next floor. So Cookies of Discipline are a thing that I definitely want to look out for in the wild, if I happen to run into them. Free level up couldn't really hurt, unless it also happens to scale us for some reason, or changes the way that things are done. That's pretty wild. Okay, those guys are, like, all over the screen, and they bounce pretty quickly, so despite dodging, it might not necessarily be too possible to get around them all the time. So how am I going to deal with this? These electric Jacob's Ladders things are kind of firing off every couple seconds here. Okay, what is this one? This is 15% slow on hit. That seems pretty good. Managed to get out without getting hit. That's good for me. Keep getting stuck on the door frames, which is a little unfortunate. Not a huge fan of that. But maybe there's still some hitbox stuff that could be worked on through patching or something like that. I should have gotten that juice box before I came in here for the fight, because now we've got to do a boss. This one is hopefully not too bad. Okay, so we've got clouds that are going to hurt us, clouds of chalk, and then we've also got projectiles, and we've got to go after this ghostly chalk drawing girl. And I don't have very good range. This boss is called Some Harmless Markings. Alright, fair enough. So I'll chase her around for a while. Eventually she'll go back into the chalkboards, I believe. And then the goal is to try and hit her on each one of the passes she makes as she goes around the room. I believe in a, like a clockwise fashion. It's rather like the mom's fight, in a way, considering there's, like, the foot coming down. In this case, it's like you're being chased around the room, and then there's also poison clouds. There's also green poison clouds that I think can put a status effect on you, but I don't think those are going to be here. I might run into those later on in the game. Okay, I'm taking a lot of damage, which is unfortunate, because this is not particularly the hardest boss to dodge. Just Gotta keep continually running around in circles and hoping for the best here. Don't want to get that close. That's pretty risky. Now, I can get a hit in when she's still in the chalkboard from what I was able to do in the past. Yeah, there it is. And I think they might count as a higher chance of crit. Although that might have also just been because of an ability or something. That passive that I equipped between runs could have been the reason for that. Okay, I think I'm not going to get another hit in before she goes back to the board. Maybe, actually, I am actually going to finish her off right now. Brilliant. Okay, that's done. Let's go back and grab that juice box. Oh, ran right into the spike ball there. That's not good. And let's not do that again. I wonder if I can kill those things in the chalkboards while they're just... Oh, come on, I got stuck on the door frame again. That's frustrating. Alright, F, I got another D. Even though I beat the level faster, I still got a bunch of damage, 56 damage. Alright, where does this bring us now? We can go to the kitchens, which is apparently gluttonous is the characteristic, and underlit. Well, I didn't really enjoy the underlit situation last time as much as it wasn't really a big deal. The boss ended up being my undoing. Oh, there's a ghost on this one. I'm told that these can lead to secret areas, and I'm maybe supposed to follow them around. So that's something I'll try and do on the next room if I can, as I noticed you went back the way that I just came from. There's an awful lot of enemies here for how underpowered I am. You know, I had a choice between two what seemed to be reasonably equally hard areas, and I can't really get any good shots in here. Did I just, like, undo the... Oh, no, it was slow on hit is why that happened. I thought maybe I made that enemy less dangerous somehow. I need to eliminate a couple of the things on the screen, because we've got caltrops, we've got trash cans firing shots at us, we've got flames going around, we've got these various enemies walking, and this trash can is in a horrible spot that I can't really get to easily. And my range is not long enough to be able to get in there. I don't really have a way of nullifying these caltrops on the ground either, so this might just be like my death, unfortunately. Which is just some really unfortunate balancing, I guess, in the way that this all ended up being with the random generation. Like this, whatever this cauldron or pot that's spilled over, the way that it ended up landing, like, is totally in the way 100%. So the only other way I can attack this thing is to, like, get right in the middle, and can't really do that because of the frequency that this fires at. You could say, yeah, I should be dodging a lot more, but your character's really, really slow. Or at least she starts out really slow, and I know I can roll, but rolling and everything is good, but it's not the most accurate way to move. So now I have no idea how I'm supposed to finish this last bit of the fight. I guess, yeah, now that his top is knocked off. I have exactly one hit left, and that was almost it right there. I would like to see if this drops something, and, well, I guess we won't ever find out. I have perished again in the halls of Edgewood, so we will at least get a small amount of increase for our passives, potentially. We've now got 24 jewels. Oh, I got, like, 1. That's garbage, so I don't even get to leave credits here, and I don't think we actually discovered any new items on that run either. But that's okay. That's how this is going to work. It's going to be a slow and steady progression upward, and hopefully it's a journey that you want to take with me. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to wrap us up at this point. This will be a shorter than normal episode, I have a feeling. The earlier ones will generally be that way. And it's usually good, because if people are just trying to get a flavor of what the series is going to be about, well, you probably don't want to rush a 45-minute to an hour-and-a-half long episode anyway, and get people bored right from the start. You want to get pulled in a little bit first, perhaps, and find out if this is something for you. I should mention I will put the link for this game in the description for this, so if you're interested in picking up Our Darker Purpose, it's available right now. So you can play along with me in the series if you'd like. And please do let me know your feedback if this is something you'd like to see me continue with. If you'd like to see where this journey goes, read some of the story along with me, perhaps, and even see what the better, more advanced attacks and maybe the endgame bosses or progression mechanics and schemes tend to be. Like I said, I know for a fact this game's super long, so even when we finish it, and finish it multiple times, there's still going to be more and more stuff to do, and I don't just mean technically play the game over and over and over again. I mean, yeah, we will be doing that, but there's more augmentations that happen and stuff afterwards, so not that I'm trying to spoil anything, but I think there is quite a bit to see that's worth exploring. So let me know what you think in the comments. Feel free to leave some support if this is something you'd like to see. I do appreciate likes very much if that's something you'd like to do for me, and I will see you on the next one. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.